So now we are inside a Nelson 18. So this is a bit different to what you normally see. I'm just going to go over, I mean, most of the whole layout's done now. The main layout, as you can see, there's a massive hole in the back, so it's not quite a boat yet. So the whole layout's done. I think this has had, what, about 9-10 ounces on it. This is a 3-piece mould, so as you can see there's still blue, you can see down the keel here, and obviously up to the back, more blue in the back there anyway. So this is made in 2 halves, so we've got port starboard sides on here, then we bolt it together, use the mat that we've got here to laminate through the keel to join it up. This has a rear transom piece anyway that gets bolted on as well, and that's done afterwards. The reason why there's a big black hole here is because usually this is set up for a shaft drive inboard, something like a 20 horsepower, around those sort of marks anyway. So the reason we've done this is because the client has requested an electric modification. So we've got a plug that sits in the back of this well, which converts this from an inboard to an electric model, which is a bit more like a sail drive in essence, the sail drive motor, so the same as what you'd see on a yacht. Obviously very eco, great for inland waterways. I guess like in essence like a Tesla, you charge it up and away you go. So there's a few comments recently sort of saying, well, is it as strong if you're doing it this way rather than building it in one piece? So they have their pros and cons, and we're just going to talk about this moulding and why it's a 3-piece, and also talk a bit about primary and secondary bonding. So this particular hull on the stern here has, for the cutlass bearing carrier, has scoops in it, obviously for water flow to keep the shaft cool so the metal doesn't overheat and expand, the bearings don't wear out as quick, the cutlass bearing, and all things like this. So there is no way that with this shape this boat is going to be able to come directly up. So that is really the main reason why they'd make something like this in a split mould, because then you can pull one side off, pull the other side off, the stern can be released, and it'll all come out much easier. More, I say older school boats, I mean you look at Cygnus, Gary Mitchell's, you know, his dad Percy and things like this. This is quite a traditional design displacement hull. It's good for carrying a lot of weight. They're not exactly known for their speed, but you know they'll get you there, and this is more of a gentleman's classic cruiser. So Andy Oliver Shipwrights be covering this in timber. It's a very nice luxury finish, you know, champagne and sandwiches with your missus in the marina, or going out on the harbour and dicking about for the day. So going on to bonding now is, as it stands, these hull skins are primary bonded. Primary bonded means that the hull was laid up, all the layers of mat and the resin were laminated within a very short time scale, and so they've chemically fused and chemically bonded together. Now, so that's a very strong, that's sort of the strongest technique you can get when it comes to laminating, that it's going to be a nice bond and everything's fused together, no issues whatsoever. So when it comes to secondary bonding, which is more what we're coming on to now, is because we're going to have to laminate this keel separately to what the main hull layout was, that some would argue that, well, let's be honest, it's not an argument point. If a boat was ever to fail, it would always fail on the primary and secondary bond borderline. This will be the keel in this instance. Now, the likelihood of that happening is very, very, very small. But, you know, if you're going into the nitty-gritty science bits of it, there is an argument there, and as everyone knows, no one will ever tell you doing it right, but if they feel you're doing it wrong, they'll pipe out and tell you what they think about it. So anyway, so we'll stagger this out with starting at a 4-inch to lap this keel over, and then working out, so we end up with 6 layers with overlapping joints on every one, so the actual surface tension of the mat joining this keel together is one of the strongest it can be. And that's one thing, as you can see here, you can see, you know, layer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the side, and then that way, that's how your joint should be if you're ever laminating. Because then that way you'll come in, the first one will come into there, then the second one, then the third one, then the fourth one, then the fifth one. And then that way, your staggered joints are going to be the strongest they can be. If they're all butt up on one side, then there's only going to be the strength of what, say, holding 2 inches on round the back, that's the strongest bit it's going to be. So again, it's all about, you know, you wouldn't build a house and stack all the bricks on top of each other, because it's just not structurally sound, is it? You look at brickwork, it's the easiest way I can say, you look at brickwork, and you see how staggered it is, and the fact that it's staggered gives it the strength rather than being able to just sort of the wind blow it over, or you even be able to push it over with your hand and it just collapse on you. So yeah, we've got 2 strong backs to go in the back of this anyway. Well, a forward and aft strong back, shall I say, 2-piece, and then where the engine would normally sit is actually going to be a battery well instead. So it's a very relatively lightweight boat. You'd be looking at about 6 to 8 knots, something like that. And obviously the way we're going, you know, green technology and everything like that, is a much more eco-friendly option than saying having your diesel inboards, as well as with the price of fuel as well. You know, your marina, you can plug it in on shore power, nice and easy. You can go home, you can come back the next week and you can go out again. There's no different about, you get your bill from your marina, and then you're not having to, well, obviously electric prices are going up as well at the minute, but 6-8 months ago is a bit of a different story. So yeah, so just thought I'd show you this one as well. We'll get this laminated up this week and then get those bits bonded in, show you what we've got to do with those as well. And then these are actually kits. We just build the kits and they get shipped off to the other workshop where the guys in their house, well, in-house, will finish these off and fit them out for them. Okay, cool. Cheers then, bye.